Okay, I have my application up and running. Let me go ahead and log into one of them as one user. And I'm already logged in as user 1. And let me go ahead and the other browser and log into it as another user, which looks like I'm already there with test user 5. So now if I go ahead and click on this specific chat group, you're going to see a list of messages already here. That's previous messages between the chat. And now if I go ahead and before I do anything actually, if I click on settings, logged in as this user, you can see that these are a list of friends that I actually have, and I can go ahead and select a icon for that person. So let's say pick Suarez for this user, and then for this one I can pick Ronaldo and upload. This gets saved on the database, and so whenever you're chatting with your friend and they post a message, their avatar is going to pop up on your screen so you can see who posted the message. So for this user, I only have one friend over here, and if I go ahead and choose here and select, see Messi here. Now if I go back to the chat page and I click here and I go back to the chat page here, and if this is the chat group between this user and this user, let me go ahead and select the same chat group here. So let me minimize this a little bit, and I'm just going to post, hey, what's up? You're going to see Messi show up over here, right? And the reason why is because I set the friends icon to Lionel Messi. So whenever I'm logged in as this from another browser, as this user from another browser, and I post a message, Messi's going to show up over there. So if I come back over here and let me expand this, and let me go ahead and reduce this one here just a little bit so you can see, and I just come here and say and post a message, we're going to see the avatar show up over here. There you go, Ronaldo. So you can see here, this is actually a chat group between Messi and Ronaldo, which is great. And looking here in this user's chat, you can see here that I actually have the scroll bar section, which will show all of the chats from the test user and the time that it was posted. And you can see over here the same thing. If I go to the other page where I'm logged in as test user 5, and you'll see that here is the chat box where you can type in your messages, but then I can actually scroll down over here and see the different messages that were sent previously. So again, you can just change the icons by going to settings, and then everybody's friends, like whoever I'm friends with, logged in as this user, you're gonna see your friends over here, and then you can actually change the icon, and same thing over here. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the code changes that I did from the last iteration. As you all know, this is a work in progress that I have in GitLab, so I can show you the code here, but if you actually want a digital copy or full link, please look at the description below for a PayPal and Venmo link for donations. So you can see here that I do have an update to the POM file here, and do note also that this is a development version here, so it's not production ready, nor is everything here super clean, but this is something I did get together, and it's looking okay so far. So we can see here that I have another get friends avatars Java file, which is acting as a web servlet that it's going to be getting the list of friends plus the avatars that are stored onto the database. So you can see here that I have this process request that the first thing it's going to do is call extract data from request, which is going to get the user information, and then it's going to do this other method call that's going to actually get the friends and their avatars from the database, and it's going to put it into the JSON object, which is going to be sent back to the user. So if I just go quickly to the extract data from request method, you can see here, goodness, this is a longer class than I remember, but let's continue down. All right, here we go. It's just going to extract the contents of the request from the React front application, and that's going to include the user's keycloak ID and the user keycloak email. And then you can see here, if I scroll back to the very top, it's going to then get that information, or I should say, these are going to be stored into class variables over here, and it's going to then call the get friends and avatars from the database data. And you can see here it is getting a connection pool from the web server that I'm using this or running this on, which is the Apache Tomcat server. And here you can see that it's preparing this query here, and it's going to just iterate through the result set and add that to an array list. And you can just kind of follow the code over here. And then once that's done, it's going to actually use that information and also get the image as well. So if I scroll down a little bit, okay, can't find it just yet, but let me go ahead and look for this because I know this is something that I have. Let's go all the way here. Okay, great. Yeah, here it is. Here's the code to actually get the images. So again, it's within the same database method here. And yeah, this does the trick. So now if I go to the get friends list, this is actually a class that's probably going to be OBE. This was the original code that I had to get the friends for a user that's logged in, but that's been superseded by this get friends avatars, which not only gets the friends for the user that's logged in, it also gets their associated avatar. And this get latest messages, the smallest update I have here, let's see here, it's just I basically increased the number of messages it gets for a chat group. So before it would just get 4 messages, but now I'm getting 10. And we can see here that I also updated this line over here. I believe I added a few more fields that I wanted to extract from the database that you can see the differences here. See, post message servlet, it looks like I did add another field, keycloak user email. And you can see here that this actually does, I am adding another thing to input into the group messages, and it's going to include the user's email that posted the message. So, okay, that's pretty straightforward. Here is a new servlet that I created called Save Image, and this is actually when you go to the settings and you upload an image, an avatar for your friend, and you click upload. This is a servlet that gets called. And you can see here, there is, let's go to the process request. So you're going to see here, first thing it's going to do is parse the request, and that was the first method here, and we're going to extract a few line items, namely we're going to extract the friend and the user keycloak ID. I have this image here that we're trying to extract, and I do set that to the image class variable that I have. So now if we continue on here, you can see there's some logic to see if like the user exists with an image, and if so or if not, it's going to insert the image for that particular user. But if that person does exist, it's going to do an update statement instead of an insert to just update the user's image, because as a person, you can update the avatar for your friend as many times as you want. So you can see here, does that exist? Here's the code where I just check to see if you know, the friend exists and the image is there already. And you can see here is the update image to database. And as mentioned, right, if the user exists already, then it's going to do an update statement instead of an insert for the avatar image that is used. And you can see here is say the other method that actually saves it where it doesn't insert. So yep, here that is. And let's see here, we have this friend object here that looks like it's a brand new object, and this is just a helper class just to set some fields. And then we have the friend avatars, which looks like, I think this is probably going to supersede the friend here, which basically, again, it has the friend objects, but this also has references, class variables to the avatar image that's going to be stored to the database and extracted. And here the message data, it looks like I just add some java.comments. And I also updated it to include the user email. And I make the web XML is updated obviously when I made new servlets. And you can see here's a context XML where I have a local Postgres database where I store this information, including like the images. Okay, now on to the changes for the React GUI application for this web application. So let's go here and, yep, we don't really need to see this, although I guess I could expand on it. This is the package lock. So again, this is just a work in progress, so this is a development version of the code, so not everything is as clean as it should be, and there may be some unused dependencies that I could remove, but this is just a snapshot of where I'm at right now with the demo that I did. So yeah, you can see React Redux here, but that's something I'm working on still, so this isn't actually used in the code that I have that was part of the demo that I showed you with chatting and showing the avatar images of the users. So you can see here there's just a couple of cleanups. I'm just trying to remove some warnings and errors whenever I'm doing npm start. So you'll just see these minor changes. You can see I actually do include in a chat page JSX file, I do import the avatar chat component. And you can see here, here's a new endpoint where we make a call to get the friends avatars, which as mentioned I think overrides and makes OBE the existing get friends list web servlet, which is associated to this endpoint. So this probably could be deleted. I just didn't do that just yet. And you can see here I have new state variables, and this is again going to be used for getting the avatars for the users and for displaying the messages, as you can see here. So if you could just scroll down, you'll see that I have this other method that actually um, sets the avatar image to show. If you remember the icon showing like Messi and Ronaldo, there is a timer that gets called once that's displayed, and once that timer gets expires, this is the method that gets called, and you can see it just blanks out the avatar image to show. So when the image goes away, it's because this is getting set to blank. Okay. And we can see here, I made a couple changes here, get avatars. And here's the get avatars method, and you can see it makes an HTTP request to get the avatars from the database. And you see here, it's actually calling the friends avatars endpoint, which is, as I mentioned above, does make OBE the existing friends endpoint list that I actually have. So that could be deleted, but just, again, this is the development branch. So it handles the data received, and it'll set the actual friends list with avatars to this variable, and it's going to update this variable that got friends list is true. So it looks like it's just some space cleanup over here. And yeah, just continue to scroll down, and you can see here, which method is this? This is part of the get latest messages method. And you can see that once it actually gets the data back, so if I expand this and let me expand that, okay, get latest messages. So this just makes a call to the database to get the latest messages for the selected chat group that you're in. And there's really no changes until the very end, where once we get the messages back for the chat group, we do set these class variables to the messages. And then we actually format the messages as you see here to be displayed. And we actually do call this method as soon as all these three variables are updated. It calls check if generate avatar. And here's the method here. And basically what it does, it compares the current chat messages with the previous. And if there is a new message that was generated, then it extracts the user's avatar who posted the newest message. So basically this is going to help us post the avatar whenever a user sends a message to their friend. So you can see the logic here that is just doing that. And you can see at the very end here, it's calling set state, where it's going to set the avatar image to show to this variable. So this is going to show like your friend's avatar that you have selected, so whether that was Messi or Ronaldo. And then you can see here that there is this function callback done where, again, after about 3 seconds, it'll call remove display avatar image, which basically makes this variable set to a blank string. So a couple of updates here, and let's just kind of scroll down. And then here we're at the render function where I do have some new code here, and it uses that avatar image to show, and it places it in an avatar variable, avatar HTML, and we essentially display the avatar of the user that made the message. And I have this extra code here to just format the messages whenever somebody posts something, or I should say, this is just the chat history of the friends group. And I have some commented out code here, and I can just continue to scroll down. You see just some new code here. Oh, and here's something, yeah, that was brand new, and it's actually an interesting thing. This is something that was largely generated when I used ChatGPT, when I said how to actually upload an image with React. This is a slight variation of the code that was generated to me. I did have to make some updates to it, very minor, but basically here's the code to like load a file from your PC, and then you know, it helps load that. And actually, it looks like I have a second version. Oh yeah, I think this first one was a kind of a test one. This second one is the real one that is actually used. But yes, again, this was based from code that I got from ChatGPT. But then I did make some updates to this, which included, remember there was a button that says like save, and once you load up an image, and basically what happens is that I get the image that was saved, and I send that to the endpoint save image, if you remember that Java web servlet, and I send the data of the image to get stored to the database, and so this gets associated with the friend that you updated the image for. And you can see here there's just some slight updates to the main app JSX file. And here's the main page JSX. I attempted to use React Redux. I'm going to make a different branch and merge request for this. I do want to make use of that in this application, but for now, this is not necessary. It didn't help with the functionality that I have that I demoed earlier today. Main page v2, yeah, this is in use, so this can be ignored. This is something I'm just working on. Settings JSX file. So this is a new React file that I created, and this is basically where you get to, when you click on settings and you see like the list of friends and the images there, this is basically the file that's handling that. So you can see here I used to have this get friends, but I do call get avatars, which makes the endpoint request to get the friends and their avatars to display. And you can see the rest of the code here. And here's the render function, which basically just shows the users and their avatars that are associated with them. And you can see here it is calling, or as part of the HTML that's going to be rendered, it is referencing the image uploader version 2 component, which is again code that was largely based from a ChatGPT, and you know, I just modified it slightly to make it work with this application. And yeah, you can see that it's actually part of or set to the friends avatars HTML, and you can see that how that is actually over here. So that's how that is. So again, this store.js is just with respect to the React Redux, so this doesn't have any doesn't help the application at its current state. So this is going to be for a future video. Here is a new avatar chat, also React application, and here is actually, or should I say, file, and here where we actually display the image. So when you saw Messi and Ronaldo, this is the code that's actually displaying it. And then here's this associated CSS file, and you can see I made some updates to the chat page CSS file as well. This includes adding the scroll bar to like the chat section, and you can see here just some spacing stuff and just another set of CSS here just to kind of style how I wanted it to look. Here's the setting CSS, we can ignore that for now. Here I have the counter.js file. Again, this was just related to me attempting to do some React Redux into this, but again, that's going to be for another video. And once again, this does not help at all with the functionality that I showed earlier. Same thing with counter slice, so that's just something for another video. And same thing with that one. And let's see here. Yeah, we could ignore also the changes done to index. This is all related to the React Redux, which I will finish and post in another video. And it looks like I'm at the end of all the changes that I did for the React application. Okay, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. If you actually like this, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And you can follow me on other social media sites that you see here. As mentioned before, you're more than welcome to copy the code as presented here for free. But if you do want a digital copy, and I can provide those, I do ask for a small $5 donation to my PayPal or Venmo links. You can see those below. And in the notes section, do note that the payment is for the web chat app for React and Java in your email. Or you can just email me directly to ancocentral@gmail.com indicating that you did that donation. And then afterwards, I'll send you an email message with the link to the code. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.